All right. McIntire to the point. The first interview is with Darton McIntire. Darton is my son. That's why I put this basketball here.
Oh, yeah.
But before I do anything, I like to, like I did when I coached and when I played, is even as a player, we said the Lord's Prayer. So you can join me if you want, and we'll do the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us of our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Amen. So, Darton McIntire, so much we can talk about.
Oh, yeah.
A graduate of Waynesburg Central High School. You only went to Waynesburg for 3 years.
Yep, 3 years.
We're out here on my farm in the country. Beautiful setting, overlooking everything. I love the country life. And I think you like the country life too.
I do, yeah.
So, tell us about your current position. What are you working on? What's your employment?
Yeah, well, first I think we need to address, just for the audience, the amount of contracts that my dad will put you through before you can get on here. The liability insurance that you need to increase before you get on here. No, I'm kidding.
Spoken like a true insurance.
Yeah, the liability, the legal that you have to get through before you get on McIntire to the point. Make sure you check that and double check that. There's a lot of fine print in these contracts that he sends over. No, absolutely not. But happy to be here, joining my dad, discussing this. It seems to be a lot of good fun and supporting this, and I think he has a great vision for this as well, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But yeah, my current venture, working over, I have a company that I joined with David Bailey, actually, out of Waynesburg, Pennsylvania, who is more commonly known for Bailey Insurance, which is, I believe it's now 4 generations of an insurance agency, but now we've started a joint venture called Fusion Health, where officially my title is Director of Business Development, but also one of the co-founders of the company. So my job is day-to-day running operations, sales.
Now, do you have a website for Fusion Health?
I do, yeah, fusionhealthplans.com. So if you want to check out what we do day to day.
Fusionhealthplans.com.
Fusionhealthplans.com. Yeah, so we actually help and assist. So if you are familiar with Highmark, Blue Cross, UPMC, those kinds of things, we actually compete directly with them, and we design our own custom health insurance and go to employers and design our own health insurance to take to the marketplace.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield's been a big empire in this area for
it sure has.
A long time.
Yeah.
So you're competing with them.
We sure are. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we sure are. So we take it to the marketplace and been around just for a couple of years, but now in the first 18 months have thousands of members covered across 21 states, working with hundreds and hundreds of brokers. So proud to say that it's been
do you have to go out of state sometimes for clients and stuff like that?
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, as much as I love being at home with my wife, and I'm not used to traveling all that much. I have traveled a good bit in recent. I've been a lot to Florida, North Carolina, Tennessee. Here more recently, actually, we're scheduling to go out, I think, to California, but Texas,
the big state of California.
The big state of California, yeah. Big, and we have partners now that are 3-hour time differences, so my day spans a little bit longer than the average person.
Well, you're still young; you can handle it.
Yeah, well, I don't complain. You don't hear me complain. It's that's why I'm salaried. That's why, not hourly anymore. They stopped doing that a while ago. So, once you start working with partners across the country, it's like, well, it doesn't really make sense anymore to do that. But
how long have you been with Bailey's Insurance?
Yeah, since August of 2021.
2021, right at the end of the big COVID.
Oh, yeah. So really kind of still when COVID was kind of in the middle of it still. We still were kind of pretending like we were wearing masks, like, you know,
yeah.
that was the phase when we were wearing it like at our chin,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like, and we were like, oh, as
I
long as
remember it well. Yes.
yeah, you know, like it wasn't when we were wearing it still up on our face, but it was kind of at our chin, and everyone was. I mean, we were coaching then, so that was when you're in a building, you had to pretend it was at your chin, like we were protecting ourselves, and it was still. And until we found out later, it was really more common. You know, kids were fine, but it was more of a common nuisance for kids. But that was a big deal for us coaching. Actually, it was more of a problem for them.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was a big. Yeah, so August of 2021 is whenever I started there. So
good.
So coming up on my 5 years here in a month.
5 years. Wow.
Yeah, so 5 years. Yeah.
Big time now.
Yeah. Yeah, my 5-year anniversary. You know, if anyone wants to send me any gifts or anything.
Bailey's Insurance. This is an off company. It's called Fusion Health. FusionHealth.com.
Yeah.
So anyone who wants to check that out, check it out. FusionHealth.com.
Yep.
See if they can help you out. So. What's your favorite sport, Darton?
My favorite sport?
It's not. Is it badminton?
Yeah. I've been big into badminton recently.
I thought it was. I knew it always was badminton.
Yeah, it was always badminton at heart. My dad would never let me play it. It was my real true love. No, I always had a love for basketball. You know, recently though, I've taken up golf.
Oh, golf, yeah.
I don't play basketball all that much though, but I've always loved basketball. I love the sport. I love the competition, the physicality. But I don't get to play it all that much anymore.
Here's a question for you: do you miss it?
Oh, of course, yeah. But
like, if you can go back and play one more game, would you?
Yeah, I probably would. Yeah, just one more game. You know, it's funny though. Who was I telling the other day? I think it might have been David Bailey. He was asking me the same question. He's like, do you have that same desire to go back and like play rec league? Do you play rec and because I put so much time into work? And I said, no, not really, because I have more of a desire to work, because what I'm doing now, building a company, trying to help others build their careers up. I have some other people that depend upon me. I said, no offense to anybody else. I said, but my big thing in basketball was I liked hitting a 30-footer in someone's face and seeing the reaction to, like, is this guy really going to shoot it from this far out? Like, like I said, but now, you go to a rec league, anybody can take that chance of, I'm going to try to bank this in from the logo here. Everybody watches Steph Curry and things now. It's a little bit different in a real regular game, taking that, because a coach can pull you out of the game. Yeah. So going to a rec league, like, everyone chucks up random shots and can feel big time. I said, but for me, I was telling him, I said, but no one can just step in and do what I do on a day-to-day basis, which is try to build a system, sell $1 million deal, negotiate thousands of dollars in risk.
An offense, right? Nobody wants to run the offense.
Yeah. No.
Nobody wants to play defense.
No,
either, so there you go.
Yeah, and I'm sure that'll come up at some point in this conversation. But as much as I miss it, and I do miss it, it taught me a lot of valuable lessons of endurance, learning what it's like to be a team player. So I try to tell people all the time, especially when we're hiring people, one of my questions I ask all the time in the hiring process, did you play sports? And for people listening, for your kids and things like that, well, my kid's not athletic. Well, it doesn't matter. Get them into sports, because in the interview process, it is a clear differentiator between someone who has played a sport and someone who has not played a sport. When we hire someone, and we've made hires that for people that have never participated in a team sport, and they do not understand what being a team player is, putting someone above the others, what it's like to assimilate to a team culture, and it's not that they're bad people. It's just that mindset of, I need to come together to a culture and winning culture, right? There's a difference, and Dad, you know this, between a winning culture and a losing culture. And in business, you have to have a winning culture, and in basketball, you have to have a winning culture.
Well, you got to have a winning culture if you still want to have a business.
Oh, 100%.
It won't last.
No, and everyone's out there to get your share.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah, it's a dog eat dog world when it comes to certain things in life.
100%.
But yeah, I'm a firm believer that I think every kid, especially when we get to the high school level, should be involved in an extra school, activity, something.
Agreed. Anything.
after school, to get
Anything.
involved,
Yep.
whatever it is, sports, volleyball, softball, basketball, football, wrestling, even playing an instrument, that's fine, but you need to be involved because it still teaches you the principles of being part of a family, being, getting along with other people,
Yep.
not thinking too much of yourself,
Putting something bigger than yourself ahead of
Yes,
you.
I'm a firm believer that it's definitely a valuable thing for definitely once you get to the high school level to be involved in something after school. So there's
100%.
no doubt about that. Everyone has their niche. Some people are great wrestlers. Some people love basketball, volleyball, softball, all the sports. And some people can play a piano, a trumpet. That's fine too. But I do believe that you should be involved with something. And it definitely helps you out. And actually, when you're at the high school level, it kind of keeps you out of trouble too.
Oh, agreed. Yeah. Well, idle hands, right? Idle
Yeah.
hands get themselves into trouble.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because in my world we have people that do different things, and you watch movies like The Wolf of Wall Street and all this stuff, and people idolize salespeople. And in sports, people picture the guy that's scoring the basket is the top guy, the top dog, and that's the sales guy. But we try to teach, and when we coach, we try telling people, listen, in a winning team, we need rebounders. We need someone setting the screen. We need someone running the offense, playing defense, and getting a kid, a high school kid, a young man, a young woman to understand that to win, we need you to play your team, to play your part. In business, it's the same way. We have people on our team that are really good at handling paperwork, and we have people on our team that cannot do it. And putting them to their strengths and people that buy into that. And guess what? There are people that we have on our team that we can't do without them, but they're in the background. But our operations and our entire business completely ride on them doing their job.
Yeah.
But they'll never be on a stage at a seminar giving a speech about how they're the face of the company or anything like that. But they're one of the top paid people at our company. So, trying to teach a kid that, it's like, just because you're not putting the ball in the basket doesn't mean you're not a top performer. And so, so a message to parents out there, try not to put a message in your kid's head that because the coach is telling your kid, set the screen hard and roll to the basket and grab the board and kick it out and get in the offense and play defense, that somehow that's demeaning and it's less than for your kid. And actually, he might be seeing something in your kid that, hey, he has a role to play here to be a champion on a winning team. And when you say, no, my kid's a scorer, he's a whatever, you're actually taking them out of a position to be that winning player.
Well, yeah, it's just like in football, offensive linemen.
100%.
They never get the praise, but when they're throwing blocks all the time, protecting the quarterback or opening up in the hole for a running back, it's an undeserved position.
Yep.
You still have to have a good offensive lineman
to win.
Yes.
Yeah,
it's the same way with a defensive back or strong safety in football who makes 40 tackles a game and stops a big run play and never gets the recognition.
100%.
And in a way, it would be hard because everyone wants to see the touchdown, the pass caught, the 45, 100-yard run that they run running back. But honestly, it's kind of like the underdog positions.
Yep.
And the underdog positions are so important when it comes to business, when it comes to sports, that I think this day and age for high school athletes, especially, even if you're in a business, don't feel underappreciated because there is people out there that see you doing the work.
Yep.
And actually, it's the people that need to see it or honestly seeing it. Don't worry about too many people giving their opinion out in this world, because trust me, out in this world, there's a lot of opinions from a lot of fools.
Yep.
And you can't take that to heart, which is hard for a high school kid.
It is.
A boy or a girl, young man, young woman, they're still growing up. They're still trying to learn. And the way this world is, you got to be the star. And you can be the star.
Newspaper, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You can be the star rebounder. You can be the star offensive lineman. You can be the star tackler on a football team. You can be the star in many different ways.
Absolutely.
And I think if you're a coach or a parent or a leader of a business, that you got to, point that out to I guess you call the black sheep. I don't know, the underdogs. I call them the underdog. I always like the underdogs in sports.
Yeah,
Always love the underdogs.
Well, and as a leader, I've been challenged, in that area of growth as a young man and growing into that is trying to cast a vision to the people on my team and getting them to understand that they are pivotal and what they do on a day-to-day basis, even though they might not be in the conversation of making the sale, but getting it from point A to point B.
Mm-hmm.
And, if I go in there and I make a promise that can't be executed, then it's pointless, right? There's no point if I go in and sell a group that's 100 employees and I say we can do X and we can do Y and we can do Z, but my team of 4 or 5 people can't execute on that because the system wasn't in place because you don't think it's important, then everything that I just did, now I'm a liar, right? So,
yes.
So now you're losing business and clients because, oh, well, I wasn't the one in there and I didn't get the credit and all those kinds of things. So, and again, it's like, it's the little stuff of, even with hunting, right? Like everyone wants to show up on day one and just get in the ground blind and be in there for 30 minutes and shoot the deer. But you know this above everybody, and honestly, you've done this for family and things like that. But it's the prep, it's the putting out of the ground blind, it's the pictures. What time of day are they coming? Where's the wind coming into? Like all that stuff actually is 90% of the work.
Oh yeah.
Leading up to it, the shot actually is minutes of work. That's not even the work. That's like the apex of the work going into it.
Everyone wants it easy.
No way.
This world.
No, I don't see that. No.
Hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? And they don't realize that all the prep work, just like with practicing, or just like even if you're going home, you worked all day and you go home and work another 2 hours and no one sees the behind the scenes, but actually it's the guys and the women behind the scenes that do the work who are the achievers.
Oh, absolutely.
You got to go the extra mile, and the sad reality is it's hard to find the people out there anymore to go the extra mile. They want it cheap and easy, and they want the drive-through. Go through the drive-through, order it instead of actually you buying the food, you making it, you know what you're eating. They want the easy route. And eventually it never works out that way.
Yeah.
I believe adversity develops any man or woman to be a lean, mean fighting machine. And you got to learn to handle adversity the right way and to grow and to learn and to do the right things through adversity, because, when bad things happen, you see someone's true character.
Sure.
And another thing I've learned, my buddy Richie Petcar, calling my little brother, he always said, and we always said, both of us, you'll find out who someone truly is when you tell them no, how they really act.
That's a good one.
Because they can't get their way. So when you tell somebody no, just you're watching how they act. When they don't get their way, see who they really are. Because no one's right all the time.
No, nobody.
As much as we want to be, our pride and a little bit of pride, but you find out who people really are when you tell them no. So that's another little tidbit for everybody out there. But what is your favorite movie?
Oh,
do you have a favorite movie?
I do have a favorite movie. It's a weird one.
Is it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs?
Well, that's number 2. So I'm glad you brought that up because that's my second one I want to talk about. But it's a weird one. Some people have never watched it, but I think it's an underrated movie. It's starring Denzel Washington.
Okay.
Yeah. The Book of Eli.
The Book of Eli.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
The Book of Eli. If you've never watched it, you got to go out and watch it. I won't spoil it.
Because it's been out for a few years.
It's been out since 2009, maybe?
It's been out for a while.
It's been out for a while, but it still has that. It has moments in that movie where Denzel has some teachable moments in there that have always stuck with me, that I think I watched it with you for the first time back. We always had movie nights, and to let the audience in, Dad would always on the weekend say, all right kids, we're going to go to, I think it was what was that, Red Box or what was
Oh
that?
yeah, it used to be Redbox.
Redbox.
I forgot about Redbox.
We go to Redbox.
Oh my gosh, Redbox.
Yeah, there wasn't a Netflix at the time for streaming.
No Netflix. It was Redbox.
We would go to Walmart and Waynesburg.
Over in Morgantown or Waynesburg.
Walmart, and so yeah, because some movies weren't even in the. So we'd look up what movies were in the Redbox, and so we'd go and we'd pick out a couple movies, and you know, my sister would pick out one, and you know, my dad and I usually would agree on one, so we'd pick out another one. And what's funny is my sister usually liked the gorier movies than me and my dad. It was weird, but Dad and I were like, you know, this is Denzel, and Denzel's our guy. Let's see what, you know. And we always liked Denzel. So there was this movie that it really didn't have a lot of box office hit. We never saw it advertised in theaters, and it's called The Book of Eli, and it was starring Denzel. So we got it, having no idea the content, never saw the trailer, never. Yeah. And you come into it and you're watching it, and very early on you start picking up that obviously the book that he's reading, and it's really not a spoiler, that it's obviously the Bible that he has. And he gives off very clearly that he has been walking. So it's an apocalyptic war movie. It's taking place 30 years after an apocalyptic event where I think the sun broke through and it just burned up everything. And the world is just a completely different place. But he feels he has been told by God to take this book west. And I mean, God told him, take this book west. And they blamed God. The whole world blamed God for the sun coming through. So they have burned all the Bibles. And the enemy in the movie is Gary Oldman. And he has been looking for the Bible. And he has said, and no one can read. Like, everyone's like illiterate. And he said, and he finally comes across Denzel, who is Eli in the movie. And he wants the Bible because he knows that the words in the book, and he says it very clearly. He's like, I know that I can basically manipulate people if I have the words in the book. If the words are in the book, they'll listen to what I say, right? And Eli says, that's great that you can offer me all these riches and you can offer me all these things, but I've got a mission to do. And he says something in that movie, and Eli's got all these wonderful gifts that he can cut people up and, you know, shoot got bad guys and all stuff. So I'm like 10 years old watching this, and I'm like, yeah, Eli, kill these, you know. But it struck me something, and it's still to this day, as a 26-year-old man and married and in business and all this stuff, it still struck me to this day because my dad said it to me. Paused the movie in the middle of it. I remember this vividly. So he just got done killing all these bad guys that were about to harm this woman, and then he's walking down the road, and this gang comes across this couple, and it beats up, kills the husband, and they're about to take advantage of the wife. And Denzel feels in his spirit that his spirit's telling him, stay on the path. It's not your concern. Stay on the path. It's not your concern. And in my head, I'm 10, right? And I'm like, but Denzel, you've got weapons, and like, you got to go get yourself involved. But there's like 15 of them, right? Like, you know, but he's obviously going to go down there and get himself killed. And, you know, and my dad paused it and he said, son, there's going to be times in your life where you have the ability to possibly help, but that doesn't mean you should. There's times where you need to stay on your path, and it's not your concern. Not every fight is your fight. And that always stuck with me, because I'm like, oh man, like, how am I? And I remember the movie ended, and I remember going to Dad afterwards, and you probably, I don't even know if you remember this, but I said, Dad, how am I supposed to know what fight's my fight and what's not? Like, you know, that's pretty tough. Like, I feel like if I have, you know, and you're like, you need to pray. You're gonna need to pray about it. Everything. Like, don't.
Yeah, even in the Bible, Jesus, he went to the town. They didn't accept the message, and he told his disciples to take off their sandals and dust their feet off and leave that town for its destruction. There's no more they can do for that town, basically for the people of that town. So I guess the hard message about that is there's going to be people that we run across in our life. It could be anybody, family, friends you think they're friends, or co-workers, that you realize that you could do nothing for them right now, and you just need to move on with your life.
That's tough.
It's always tough to make the right decision.
Yeah.
It's always tough. But, you know, there was times where Jesus had to do it, and he did it. Yep. So, hey, you know.
But that movie has a great plot twist at the end.
Oh yeah.
And if you've never seen it, I highly recommend it because it's just one of those, oh my goodness, are you kidding me? I never noticed, kind of, but it has some great, and he says like, I walk by faith, not by sight. And people are like, what are you talking about? He quotes the Bible throughout it. And has great biblical, it's alluding to biblical themes throughout it and stuff. But yeah, I think has some powerful themes in that movie. I think it's underrated, and I've always just liked the theme of that movie. Yeah.
Who's your favorite NBA team?
Oh, the Indiana Pacers.
Who's your favorite college team? You have a favorite college team?
Oh, the Mountaineers. Yeah, the Mountaineers.
Basketball and football?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'm a Mounties guy. I'm a Mounties guy.
Okay.
My wife would probably be rolling over right
That's
now.
all right.
Just,
She'll get over it.
She's a Pitt fan. I know everybody. Yeah,
under the armpit on
Our house is divided.
Favorite athlete of all time?
There's only one favorite athlete you can pick, and that is Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
I raised you well. Michael Jordan, yeah, the GOAT.
Yes, the GOAT, and it's
no one better than Michael Jordan.
And it's mostly not just because of how great of an athlete he was, but because of his story, what he had to overcome, and his principles.
Well, how about this? How about most high school athletes now? If they get cut as a sophomore from the varsity team, they got cut.
Probably quit.
Would they come back? Would they work on their game or work on whatever sport they were playing and come back and try to make the team again? How many do you think would do that?
I would say 90+% would probably not even show up again. I would say that would be the point where the parents would probably say, son, it's probably not your sport.
Yep, but his mom said, Michael, you need to get better. She didn't baby him, coddle him.
Great point.
You get better. And I think that's a message for a lot of high school athletes out there is, honestly, you look in the mirror and see, are you really working on the sport that you want to play? Do you really want to play it? If you do want to play it, are you working on it? Are you committed to it?
Yep.
Are you committed to lifting weights? Are you committed to being in shape? Are you committed to being stronger and faster? Because, excuses get old after a while, especially being a coach and being, like, what's that old saying? An excuse is an excuse. At the end of the day, it's still an excuse.
Yep.
It might be a good excuse, but at the end of the day, it's still an excuse.
It's going to keep you from taking the next step.
It's too hot. It's too cold. My car broke down. Blah, 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 blah. Everyone has their reasons. Everyone has a reason.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, if you want to get better at anything you do, you got to get the excuses out of your life.
I feel like a common theme in reading biographies of great business people and seeing Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, a common theme, and you'll probably agree with this, is relentless preparation. I mean, it wasn't like they just showed up and thought, oh, I'm just going to be better and that's how I'm going to win. They constantly were preparing for what was next. They constantly were looking out and looking forward. Tom Brady wasn't great because he was just a better athlete than the other team. He studied film. He practiced and practiced and practiced. Michael Jordan was a great athlete, but there was a lot of better athletes than Michael Jordan. Let's not forget. There's better athletes than Michael Jordan, but it was his drive that took him to the next level. His, like you said, the quitting his sophomore year, like a lot of people would have done that, but it was, and every coach that ever coached him, I think it was Roy Williams, I think, was the coach that said, yeah, he came on campus and I think who was the player that was on there as a Hall of Famer, actually played James Worthy, and he said, yeah, James Worthy was better than him, and James Worthy cuts to James. He's like, yeah, he was better than me. He was playing me one-on-one as soon as he got on campus. I was better than him for about 2 weeks, because he's like, he was so relentless. He would come after me every day. He's like, come on, we're going to go again. I'm going to figure you out. Until I beat you, I'm not going to give up. How many, and I challenge myself with that, not just how many of us, but of myself, is when the times get tough and when I'm preparing for a meeting, I try to think, what are they going to ask me? How can I be even more prepared? And we have less excuses now than we ever have with AI and role playing that we can do with AI and what questions, and it'll do all this work for you. So we should be even better now than we ever have been before.
Correct.
It can cut down work time than it ever has been. So, I challenge my team and I challenge myself. We should be able to be better than the business people 20 years ago, 30 years ago, 40 years ago. So if you think that putting in, if Rockefeller was putting 12 hours of work in a day to get his numbers and stuff in, and you think you don't need to put 12 hours of work in, what can you put in 12 hours, right? If you want to get to that level. So I just say that because if you're wanting to take that next step, which starts with sports, right, in high school, if you're not willing to put that level of work in and go to school 8 hours and put in a couple more extra hours, when you go into work in business and you want to take it, you're not going to make it to that next level unless you're willing to sacrifice. I know that's a tough word. Sacrifice. I know, the social time, the friends, you will be the 5 people you most hang out with. You will be a mix of the 5 people you most hang out with.
Well, the Bible says you are the company that you keep. So whatever company you're keeping, that's who you'll be. So we're at the 2-minute warning already.
Oh,
2-minute warning.
The drill.
Is there something that you want people to know that they really don't know about you? Is there some things that that drive you? Some things that people don't know about you, basically.
Yeah, the thing that drives me every day is trying to build something for the kingdom and not for myself. So, for people I work with, and Dave has done a great job of casting this vision, but our Fusion Health, our company motto is actually, our company vision, I should say, is we exist to honor God with our work. And that is a hard vision to cast, and that's a hard vision to live up to. But in building something and trying to build a company, because the Bible doesn't give a chapter on this is how you build a business according to, it gives principles, it gives stories, it gives
Well, I always remember that simple verse in the Old Testament where it said, Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and so he prospered. That's all it said. Asa did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and the Lord made him, and the Lord prospered him.
Is that the one that prayed? Did he do the prayer?
That's the prayer of Jabez.
Jabez, yeah,
but
that's right.
It's Asa, A-S-A.
Yeah, Asa.
It's always a good verse to remember. All he did was he did what was right in the eyes of the Lord, and so he prospered. God prospered him.
Yeah.
And he did what was right. And it's something I always remembered. When it gets crazy and the world gets loud and everything.
Yeah.
I think your moral compass and being led by the Holy Spirit, you'll know what to do, what is right. Yeah,
and I pray so. I pray to, everything's going to pass away. To me, I know every day that this Fusion thing is and the success we've had recently. I pray that it continues. But at the end of the day, it's not mine; it's His. We're just stewards of it. We're just trying to be faithful stewards of what's been given. Just like this podcast, you're just a steward of what's been given to you. But honored to be here, honored to be on it, honored to be the first guest. And hopefully I get invited back at some point.
Oh, you will,
whenever.
Yep. So. I want to thank my wife, Rebecca, for setting me up with this setup.
Very awesome setup.
Yeah. Rebecca set me up with this, and I appreciate her believing in me to do this. So let's bow our heads. I'm going to give the priestly blessing. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. And may the Lord make His face to shine upon you. And may the Lord be gracious unto you and grant you His peace. In the name of Jesus, amen.
Amen.
Son, thank you for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
It went quick.
It did go quick.
We'll do it again.
Looking forward to it.
All right, buddy.